Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk New Ships and New Cruiser Line. And we were gonna talk about the specialty about the new oncoming Pan Asian cruiser. And I honestly believe we will find a new Tier 8 Smolensk in this line. And yeah, go and figure. And I'll also explain you why. Now, let's talk about the new Tier 5 to Tier 7 ships were developed on a base of the real British and American ships. Harbin, of course, it's a project of the small cruiser developed in the USSR and turn of the 1930 and 1940s. So that will be the only Soviet cruiser. The rest of them are British, and shall I say, most of them are US or yes, US cruisers, literally. So what's the gimmick of this cruiser line? Well, small shells caliber guns, which literally it's the destroyer's guns. High rate of fire, literally same rate of fire as a destroyer, and powerful deep water torpedoes. I would like to think that it's the the Pan Asian deep water torps. Of course, the HP pool and armor, no armor whatsoever. It's literally a Flint and Atlanta and Smolensk in some way, yes. But what's so special about this? From the tier 8 to tier 10, you also equipped with torpedo reload booster. And at tier 9, you also have the repair party consumable. And they have very effective anti-submarine armament. I very much like to say that they are very capable to do the cruiser's job. And what is the cruiser's job, you may ask? I will explain. The cruiser's job is definitely to defend, or shall I say, keep your battleship alive. And how is that? Well, you don't have radar, you don't have smoke. So what kind of support are you? It's very simple. You have the best guns to deal with other destroyers, and also the best AA platform in the entire game. But the gimmick of that is not just that, it's that you literally have the Pan Asian destroyer smoke. It's not USSR smoke, it's not US smoke, it's actually a best of the all worlds. I explain you why. Even though the smoke does not last a whole lot, let's say versus US smoke, it is very interesting because it says that it's a very short cooldown between the smokes. You literally only have roughly 20-25 seconds. So if you build everything, and I'm talking about everything, which I very much like to talk about, you need to build all those consumables and flags, you name. There are quite significant flags that will help you even more. So literally you're gonna have the smoke on demands, and that is a huge thing. But also from tier 8 to tier 10 you have the torpedo reload booster, which basically means that this ship you cannot push. If you're a battleship or other cruiser, you cannot push, because the only, shall I say, safe I don't know if you can call it safe ships to brawl in a smoke, it's probably another destroyer, but that destroyer has not the firepower of those things. And very much I'd like to talk that probably at tier 5 and tier 6 there isn't any special torpedo armament. Probably you're gonna see it like 3 here. Now I believe that this probably is British destroyer guns, kind of a floating but very high percent to put your enemy on fire, because that is the gimmick. I very much said that this tier 5 it's nothing special, guys. Probably one of the stinker in this line is because you have kind of a limited of firepower and range HP pool, but yeah, there are quite significant other cruisers at this tier which have probably better guns and longer range and stuff like that. But you have at least some kind of torpedoes I can definitely see, and some, some firepower, not a whole lot. at tier 6, now you're talking, we are increasing from, I do believe, 3 turrets to 1, 2, 3, 4. At least 4 turrets. I can definitely see 4 turrets, and of course I also see the torpedoes. Those are definitely British guns, very high percent push area, and you'll find, and if you spec them, probably it's a pretty nasty tier 6 cruiser. I very much like to say probably as a Leander effectiveness, but the salvo are of course lower, but faster rate of fire and shorter range. But also Leander have kind of a crappy range. Remember, guys, and this is the most important, with those destroyer guns you have easy to buff the DPM and range. You cannot do it with Leander. Just for instance, Leander's 152 millimeters with versus 127, or you know what that is, 120 millimeters. Maybe probably this is only 120 millimeters guns, but you can buff them with BFT and advanced fire training, which increase your range and DPM. So there you have it. Of course, the biggest downside with this line, probably they won't have hydro. I don't believe they will. It's a balancing factor. However, I still honestly believe they are kind of a small ships to deal with. They are tiny, small, and smoke on them on. And probably the turning radius, I honestly believe it's amazing. So it's a fun ship line. At this tier 7, you probably have a little bit more. Yes, you have definitely 6 turrets. So you're literally a Flint without those guns on the side. Yes, it's tier 7 Flint. That's what it is, with smoke. And I have no idea how many torpedoes does Flint have. I know they have 9.2 kilometers in range, and of course those one will be most likely deep water, but without torpedo reload booster. You only have one launcher and that's it. Of course, the biggest limitation with this, it's with this ship, it's that low range, literally a Pan-Asian Flint, in my honestly opinion, with crazy good A. Probably I kind of forgot to mention from tier 6 all the way to tier 10, you also have the strongest AA in the game, and that is kind of a ridiculous what I'm saying right now. It's because they are good concealment, crazy good AA, but also penalty to shoot in the smoke. It's also keep that in mind. This is not a Leander or Fiji with 5 point something kilometers in range. I do honestly believe that tier 6 Flint or Atlanta can stay way closer to your enemy before the penalty, when you will be visible in shooting inside the smoke. So that is also a big thing. Let me know in the comment below how many torpedo does the Flint or Atlanta have. So yeah, now we are moving to tier 8. This, ladies and gents, this is the only cruiser with no US or British guns, because this is the Russia. I honestly believe this is a 10 guns, 10 trash cans or Udaloy guns at this tier. Literally, guys, I know it's kind of a big, probably the turning radius is kind of a crap versus the rest of the line, but what's unique about this, it has torpedo reload booster, crazy good AA, probably the strongest AA of all tier 8 cruisers, and I explain you why. Udaloy with AA defense, it's not a bad, and that it's just, guys, it's just a 6 turrets dual purpose guns. This has more AA and also more guns. It's I believe, guys, this is dual purpose guns with all those rest of the AA platform, together with the smoke, together with AA defense. It's absolutely a murder machine versus plane, and even more so versus anything else, because most likely this trash can cruiser, or shall I call improved trash can, will have the Udaloy's range 14.7 kilometers in range with all the buffs and captain's perk. Yeah, it sounds bad, but the concealment should be better or pretty damn good, close to the trash cans concealment. I honestly believe, but better, torpedo reload booster and good rate of fire. This is the closest Smolensk can be, but it's even more scariest because it's a tier 8. Yes, Smolensk has more guns, that it's true, but it's the same flat, easy to hit guns, Russians guns, and it's absolutely amazing. Of course, from you don't have heal, that it's the thing, but it's a light cruiser, pretty fast. I would believe that this is probably will be one of the fastest tier 8 cruiser in the entire Tech 3 line, because it's a Soviet, I honestly believe it has the best guns and the fastest. The downside, of course, is the turning radius. And then we are moving to this Senyong, the tier 9, which have the Montana's secondary guns. I have no idea. They are kind of a slow, so I have no idea about the range and about DPM. Yes, you do have a lot of firepower. However, the biggest threat versus anything else, a battleship, cruiser, you name it, you have 2 freaking launchers. I do believe you have 8 torpedoes in each side with torpedo reload booster, and I have this gut feeling that those torpedoes will be way more than the 10 kilometers range. So probably you'll get, I don't know, 11 or 12 kilometers range of those deep water torpedo, which is absolutely a threat to anything else beside the destroyers. Destroyers will not gain any damage, but all other cruisers and battleship, it's very potent. Now this cruiser, it's a big as a house, so it's probably very easy to citadel and kill because it's a large cruiser. On the other hand, it has smoke, and the penalty of this smoke, it's absolutely ridiculous and short. That's what I'm trying to say. And probably tier 40, it must have one of the strongest tier 9 AA platform in this game. I cannot come up with one single tier 9 cruiser better AA. This is packed. This is a freaking Atlanta at tier 9. I would be surprised if this does not have the rating of close to 100 in AA department. But remember, you have AA defense, for crying out loud. So probably if you have a CV, don't even dream about striking this beast. This is freaking, I don't know how to say, a Worcester at tier 9, for crying out loud, at tier 9. So yeah. I honestly believe it's extremely scary, because you going from maybe one mediocre torpedo launcher to 8 torps in each side, and I honestly believe the turning radius should be fine. The biggest concern, it's kind of a high in the water, probably easy to citadel and kill if this ship does not have the smoke available. That's what I'm trying to say. But otherwise, it's a DPM monster, very scary versus all destroyers. And then we are coming to Austin. Now this is even more scary, because you're gonna have 20 freaking torpedoes and torpedo launchers. So voila, you can basically, let's say you play Ocean, right? You send those 10 torpedoes and you use the torpedo boost reload, and you send them 10 and then 10 again. So why the hell not have 60 torpedoes in the water at the same time? Literally, the point is, and the strong, it's you cannot dodge so much torpedoes, and you will most likely hit extremely hard, because I honestly believe this has the Pan-Asian tier 10 long range hard hitting torpedo, which deals massive damage, and you don't want to hit more than 2, because if you do that, you're dead. So yeah, all deep water torps cause flooding and they deal massive damage. And I honestly believe, guys, this is even better than the Minotaur because it has better AA defense than the Minotaur, and it had even more torpedo, deadlier torpedo, not versus destroyer but versus anything else. And the AA, it's fantastic. And the smoke, this is not the British smoke, this is much better smoke. And I honestly believe it's frankly improved Austin. Let me know in the comment below what you think about this. Oh man, this ship makes you do not want to play a destroyer or a battleship or a CV. What do you mean, Zerra? Well, this is very hard counter versus destroyer, hard counter versus battleship. We are selling straight because you do have, and here's the gimmick, her concealment is much less than torpedo range, so you can stealth torpedo even without smoke, and that is and torpedo boost reloader. So go figure, if you want to just nuke a full HP battleship, you can do it with this ship. And if you're a destroyer, you don't want to come near this thing. This eats destroyer for breakfast, and also eats planes for breakfast, because you know, with AA defense, it's literally, guys, Austin, and I know for a fact that Austin, it's a murder machine versus the CV. So I honestly believe, and here's my final details, guys, and I can talk about details about the smoke. That the smoke is fantastic. It's freaking, shall I say, compare a Flint versus Atlanta, Austin versus this Jinan. The biggest difference is one have smoke and long range torpedo, one have zero torpedo and no smoke. So go and figure which is the best of those two ships, which literally have the same armament, same guns, same AA platform. I mean, if you have, let's say, if you're close, this is the best example. If you're close to a battleship and their aircraft carrier want to strike him, you pop the smoke and a defense, and you probably don't even need the smoke. Well, all the planes will instantly vanish, no matter if it's another tier 10 CV, because your AA, shall I say, DPM, it's too much to those planes to ever come back and survive. So you are a fleet escort ship, and frankly, let's say, you know, if you're using the smoke, yes, there is probably a small smoke counterpart versus this one. You don't have the hydro, and some destroy, if there are, let's say, 3 destroyers or 4 destroyers in each side, you have to be careful where your position are, because you can be struck inside your smoke, and without hydro you can eat a couple torpedoes and you're dead. But the biggest concern I have with the entire line, it's this Pan-Asian smoke, which is by far the best smoke in the game, and together with fast Daka, it's actually a perfect freaking ideal Smolensk-ish line, but even more scary than Smolensk, because this combo, you eat 2 torpedoes and you are on fire. It's pretty much GG for that battleship, you know what I mean? So yeah, let me know in the comment below what you think about entire line. I honestly believe that tier 8, it's trash can on steroid with smoke, and which much more literally same firepower as Khabarovsk at tier 8, for crying out loud, and that it's a big problem. But it has better guns than the Khabarovsk. You know why? Those are dual purpose guns, and you have at tier 8 same firepower. How ridiculous is that? And yeah, I believe it's a very strong, very scary strong cruiser line, and some ships are very scary to face. So let me know in the comment below what you think about the entire line. Have a good one, take care, and bye.